What about their names?
Well, there's Texas Jordan.
No middle name?
No. And Jack's was Robert Jack Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Alice Lee Jordan.
Lee?
Lee. No, it wasn't either. It's not on there.
It's, what do you mean?
It's not on my birth certificate.
Oh.
It's Lee. It's just Alice Jordan.
But you went by that.
And I did for
Lee.
years and years and years
Really?
until I got my birth certificate and found out it wasn't on there.
Wasn't even your name.
No. Well, I think one of Daddy's aunts stuck that on me.
Mm-hmm.
Russell was just Russell. He didn't have a middle name either.
Mm.
And Andy's was Clay Andrew.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And Joanne's was just Joanne. And it's all spelled, it's Joanne, but for some reason all of us kids spell it J-O and then A-N-N is two different.
Mm-hmm.
But actually it's one.
Mm.
And she didn't know that either until she got her birth certificate. She always spelled it Joann, two different.
Yeah. What about your mom? Her full name?
Anna Fleury.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad?
Russell. Her last name was Russell. Just Sullivan Jordan, I believe.
Hmm. Did you know your grandparents?
Yeah, I knew my dad's grandparents.
Your dad's parents?
Uh-huh.
What were their names?
Henry. His name was Henry. And I can't remember what her name was.
Now, you were born in Idaho.
Yep.
Right, where in Idaho?
Montour, Idaho. It's not too far from Nampa. But there's... in Nampa, Idaho. But there's no town there. The town disappeared.
When you moved away?
Yeah. It was just one of those little farming communities is what they are.
What was your dad doing there?
I don't know what he did. That's just where I was born.
Yeah.
I left there when I was a year old, my mom said.
To come to Texas?
Nope. Probably moved down. I don't know where I moved from there.
Like migrant farm workers or something?
No, my dad was a mechanic, automobile mechanic.
Oh. So you went somewhere else
Yeah.
before you moved to Texas?
Yeah, because I was about 8 years old when we
Oh,
moved
really?
to Texas. Mm-hmm.
You started to school somewhere else?
Yeah, I started school there in Oregon.
Hmm. And then when you came down to Texas, where were you then?
Moved to Bandera.
Mm-hmm.
Came here to San Antonio, and then Daddy found a job in Bandera. So that's where we went.
And your dad, wasn't he an electrician?
Yes, he worked for the railroad as a telegraph lineman, and then he worked for the telephone company. He was working for Southwestern Bell Telephone Company when I was born in Yoakum, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And later he worked for Central Power and Light Company in Kennedy, Texas.
Central Power and Light?
Yes. Which was a local electrical utility.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when he worked for the light company, instead of having a pickup truck, he had a horse and a little dray wagon. It was something built like something similar to a pickup truck. It had a bed in the back. Of course, up front there was the seat for the driver, and two people could ride up front. And that's the way they got around town, with a horse and wagon.
When you started school, you remember where you went to school in first grade?
Oh, I do, yes. I started school in Kennedy, Texas, And in the first grade, my teacher's name was Mrs. English,
Oh yeah.
and she taught school there for all of the children in my family. Had Mrs. English as their first grade teacher.
Were the classes big enough to be segregated by grades there? I guess Kennedy was a pretty big town, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was Kennedy was
One horse town.
about 4,000 population,
Oh.
but they only had one school. So
Yeah.
the first grade, yes, it was separated from the other grades. In fact, the schoolhouse that we went to the first grade in was across the street from the main schoolhouse. This was a wooden building, and they only had the first grade over there. The other grades were over in the main building.
Hmm. How long did you go to school there?
Well, I went to school there through the third grade, I guess. Then I went to school 1 year in Rogers, Texas, and then back to Kennedy, Texas for the rest of my school.
All the way through high school?
Yes.
You remember, Mom? You were in Oregon, you said?
Yeah, I went started school in Nessa, Oregon.
Nessa?
We were just a little ways, block and a half from school.
And how long were you there?
Until I was in the 4th grade.
Then you went to Bandera. You remember anything about going to school there?
Sure I do. There in Nessa, Oregon?
Either. Yeah.
I remember the school burned down.
You didn't have anything to do with that, did you?
No.
You didn't? You sure?
No, they said because the school was so old. And it was 2-story school, and they figured it was some bad wiring that started it.
Yeah.
It started in the summertime, and they claim maybe, just maybe, somebody might have set it afire because they wanted to get rid of it because it was so old.
Yeah.
But we were laying there, what was it, Texas was laying on the bed. And I was sitting there somewhere talking to her when one of the other kids, Jack, I guess, came in and yelling, the school's on fire, the school's on fire, and Texas jumped off the bed, and we had one of those old metal beds, with them tall posts with a big round
Yeah.
post on them. Well, when she grabbed a hold of that to jump off of the bed, and she broke the top off of it. I remember that. She was in such a hurry to get out there and watch the school burn down. So the next year, why everyone had to start in different buildings
Yeah.
all over town until they got another school finished.
When you moved to Bandera, you happen to remember what the name of the school was when you went to Texas?
No, just Bandera Elementary School and Bandera High School. That's what they were.
So you went to high school there? You stayed there in Bandera? And you went, now let's see, there's 7 years difference, right? Right, 7 years difference in your age. Okay. And you were 6.5, and you were in Kennedy. How far is Bandera and Kennedy? Had nothing to do with you meeting each other, did it?
No, it's about 110 miles.
Yeah.
No, I never did go to Bandera, I don't guess, until after I was in the service.
Yeah.